Before I became a pastor, again, I was not the brightest kid in the block. As a matter of fact, I was probably the dullest tool in the shed. I mean, I was nowhere qualified to do anything. And that was the background I came from. And with that background, what was funny is I developed what I call a pity party. I don't know if you guys ever know that. It's my birthday and I cry if I want to. And I developed that mentality throughout where I justify absolutely everything I've done wrong. And I know I'm doing wrong, but I'm going to justify it somehow, some way. And it affected my relationship with at that time she was my girlfriend, now she's my wife. It affected our relationship in such a way. It's so much drama, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like soap operas. And there's a reason why I don't like soap operas. I don't like the drama that's in it. But that's exactly what I was living. Like sand to an hourglass, so is the days of our lives. And that's how I was living it with my wife. Dramas after dramas after dramas after dramas after dramas. And I blame it on her, and I blame it on the situation, I blame it on absolutely everything else. And I did not want to marry the girl. I took something from her. I took something from her that didn't belong to me. Quite yet. I took her virginity. I messed her up. I took her family's respect. Her family was one of the leaders at church. I took all that stuff away from them. And my excuse at that time, well, I'm a man. I have my needs. I justified everything that I did. I did the drugs thing. I did all those things. Well, it's because I'm stressed out from my house. I'm unsuccessful in my relationship. I blame it on my parents. Truth is, we're all responsible for our own choices. We're all responsible for our own actions. And it's until you say the buck stops here. When you finally get to the end of yourself, God can begin. And that's what I did. Somebody came to me and demonstrated to me how living, honoring God looks like. How accepting responsibility. I saw a man's man. I saw a mentor in my life that completely changed my output on marriage, my output on everything. He was a man that accepted his responsibility, and I wanted to be like that. It was not easy, but I made a decision. I'm going to accept my responsibility. At that time, I didn't have a job. I was jumping around from job to job. I was nowhere close to being responsible. I was living off of her, but that all stopped. I was living at their house. When I learned their principles, I moved out. I moved out right away. I make a decision. I repent. I'm going to stop all this. I'm going to drop this. I accept my responsibility. I began to get a job, and not only that, God began to bless me because I began to obey. I got a job, and not only I got a job, I began to look at other business ventures, and I came up with my own business. Came up pretty successful. I developed speaking skills, which you see before. I didn't go to seminary school. I learned from business classes, from leadership classes, how to speak. So God took me through this road that ends here. But at all those roads, I had to choose to accept my responsibility. Not blame it on nobody else, and take it and just run with it. So tonight, the choice is in your hand. Will you accept responsibility? And if you're willing to accept responsibility, there's grace that comes with it. But if you're not even willing to accept responsibility, you're like this person drowning, and you're franticing, and you're doing all these things, and God can't jump in, because if God's going to jump in, you're going to take him down anyway. Until you learn to just surrender and go, Lord, I'm not going to think about how to do it my way. I'm going to do this your way. I choose to accept this responsibility. That's what he wants to do tonight. Close your eyes.